Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to wrap up Chapter 17. Chapter 17 we've been looking at sound. The range of human hearing for sound is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So it's a pretty large range, 20,000 being the minimum frequency that we can hear, up to 20,000 being the highest frequency that we can hear. Of course, other creatures on the planet have a different range of hearing. As people get older, their high range tends to diminish, which is why students sometimes will download very high frequency ringers or detectors for their phones. And when they ring, people like myself can't hear them because the frequencies are too high. The three smallest bones in the human body are located in the ear. And if you'll look at figure 17.41, you'll see those three very small bones. They are the anvil, the hammer, and the stirrup. They help carry the sound wave from outside the eardrum to the cochlea, where it is then sent to the brain and detected. Down here on this graph, I've just tried to sketch the graph from figure 17.37. You can look at that figure to get a better set of details here, but this is an overview that I think is sufficient. And this is the hearing threshold for humans versus frequency. So notice on the vertical here we have intensity in units of decibels. So on the decibel scale, we can have positive and negative. So notice that down here on the horizontal corresponds to minus 20 decibels. So these are sounds that are smaller than the threshold of hearing, but notice that we don't have any data down there. And then on 60 decibels corresponds to a positive value, and that's of course above the threshold of hearing. 0 is right at the threshold of hearing. Down here on the horizontal, we have frequency in hertz. So starting off with frequencies of 20 hertz, you can see that we have a threshold requirement of 60 decibels before we can detect that 20 hertz. As we start increasing in frequency, the amount of intensity for us to be able to detect that frequency is dropping. So we're more sensitive to sounds as we move away from 60 hertz to 4,000 hertz, where we reach the bare minimum amount of intensity required for us to detect the sound. So we respond to 4,000 hertz the best out of this range. Then as we start increasing from 4,000, we start requiring larger and larger intensities for us to be able to detect that sound. And if you look on the chart, you'll see it actually goes up further for values higher than 16,000 hertz. It's on an upward trend. So this gives us a little bit of insight into what's going on inside these holes on the side of our head, and wraps up our discussion of Chapter 17. Note that we will not be talking about ultrasound, but it's very interesting. Ultrasound are sound waves that are traveling faster than the speed of sound, and so, they're sources that are traveling faster than the speed of sound while they're emitting sound. And there's some strange things that happen, and I would encourage you to read about them in the textbook, but we actually will not be covering them in a video. So this wraps up Chapter 17, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.